Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Today is Wednesday, and it is 12 o'clock noon. And I tell you, we got a great show lined up for you guys today. It has been a while since we've been on. I know last year sometime we were doing our thing, and life got in the way, and we were not able to continue doing the noon report. But we're back, and we're back on 10. I'm looking forward to Lee Michaels joining me sometime during the course of the broadcast. This is where we talk about news briefs and commentaries about what's going on in the news to keep you guys up to date from our perspective of the news. Okay, just to give you an example of what's going on. Before we get started, I always like to give a shout out to my mentor, Dr. Hunt. Dr. Hunt and I have been traveling in life together for 30 plus years. And out of the 30 plus years that we have been traveling, he has been a blessing to me and my family, as well as I have been a blessing to him and his family. And I talk about my mentor because I want you to get someone that you can call a mentor, somebody that you can count on to be a blessing to you and your family, so that you guys can have the benefit and the knowledge of what the benefits of having a mentor is all about. So get a mentor, and then you can be a blessing to him and your and his family, as well as he can be a blessing to you and yours. All right. So now we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. The first thing I want to talk about is the fire that's going on in California. They call it Palisade area. And the Palisade area that has been burning for the last couple of days. It's interesting. I was looking on social media today, and they've started several shout outs for people to know who's safe and who's not safe. That's one of the advantages of having social media account. People say, well, social media ain't no good. Well, no, you can use it for good. Okay. And one of the things that you can use for good is that if you live in the California area and your home burned down, or some of the things that you hold near and dear to you, then you need to let somebody know that you're still alive. And there are people that are doing that. They're going on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whichever one that you prefer. And they're letting people know that, yes, I am still alive. One guy that I've been knowing for 20 plus years, his house burned down. Our fearless leader, Mr. Lee Michaels, lives in California. I called him this morning. Of course, he was sleeping through the fire. He's like, oh, no, ain't nothing happening in my neighborhood. But there are people that are struggling, that have probably lost their entire life and their memorabilia that they have been saving for. When you accumulate a home, you have memorabilia. So the fact that a lot of these homes have burned down in the Palisade area. They were talking about the hurricane strength winds that are blowing contaminated air throughout the California area, all the way down to San Diego. So our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody that's struggling and suffering at this particular time. So I encourage you, if you've got family in that area, check on them, make sure that they're okay. I was just looking through some of my resources to see some of the things that is going on in the areas around the world. And one of the things that jumped out at me was Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg has, if you don't know, is the owner of Facebook, Instagram, and a few other spinoffs. And they're now beginning to eliminate the fact finding portion of before they post, they used to check it and make sure that that a person is posting is true or false. So now they're eliminating that. They're like, okay, we're not going to no longer do that. Well, it's interesting to me that they're doing that at this particular time. And I tell you why it's interesting, because in another couple of weeks, we're going to have our, unfamous president back in office, and he likes to say things that are not true. So if you don't fact check him, he'll say he didn't say it. And then he'll say, well, this is what's what. I said it, so it's got to be true. And so now, uh, Facebook and Zuckerberg, and I know I'm saying his name probably wrong, have softened their attempt to try and keep him on task with only saying things that are true. Okay. So, and then, he has his own version of social media, the president. So anything he says can't be true. I just don't believe anything that he says, and he made me that way. I cannot imagine the president of the United States saying something that actually is true. Okay. And it's crazy. The name of his social media is Truth. It should be untrue. Okay. That's what it should be. So, I'm not going to be before you long today. I'm hoping that Lee comes and joins us. I know he had an assignment that popped up on him at the last minute. But speaking of the incoming president, it's some things that every time he has a press conference, he likes to stir up controversy and stir up, things to make people nervous. Well, people should have a right to be nervous, because he's saying some things that could, jeopardize a lot of controversy in the world. Now, psychologically, he wants to be the king of the United States. He wants to, set himself up as a dictator to rule forever and ever and ever and ever, because he knows if he ever comes out of office, he's going to have to face charges in Georgia, and he might have to, spend some money. Not might, he's supposed to, but he's going to try not to, in some of the cases that he's been convicted of. So he's supposed to spend money. But he had a press conference, and according to the New York Times, the New York Times, they said that Trump said the U.S. should control Greenland and the Panama Canal. And he wants to buy Greenland and did not rule out using military force in Panama. Now, Panama responded by saying that we are a sovereign country and we're not giving up the Panama Canal. That was a deal that was done, and they've been running the Panama Canal for, many, 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 many decades. And now you want to come in and try and take over? Not going to happen. Panama's like, hey, you don't want to come over here messing around, because that would be equivalent to what Russia did in Ukraine, a big bully picking on a little country. Now, I don't think that Panama might not be a strong military might, but where is the right in this? Where would it be okay for the United States to just take some stuff? Okay, I'm sure we've made our money back and donated it to the Panama, to the country of Panama, because there is a district in Panama that is U.S. rule. but it's a district. It's not the whole country. Everything else belongs to the country of Panama. So, I don't know where this guy is getting off trying to intimidate and trying to, mess with, people just because he thinks he's a big bully and he can be a dictator. Now, I don't know what his rationale about trying to control Greenland is all about. I have no idea. Somebody must have told him that Greenland got some stuff that he want to have. So now he's stirring up fear and controversy, and he ain't even spent his first day in office yet. Now, remember when he was in the race, he would say, "Oh, within the first week, I'll have the whole world, eating out my hand." I don't think so. It's just interesting how he wants to, bully, bully people, bully countries, intimidate. So once again, I open up by saying that I don't believe nothing that he says. I would like to think that whatever's rattling around in his head, that he does not go out and begin to try and plan future conflicts for the United States. I would hope that the military will sit down and explain to him, no, we're not doing this, because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take some people standing up to him to allow him to say, hey, I'm not going to do this, because the military, does have the ability to say, hey, man, why? Why are we doing this? What is the purpose? What is the reason? Somebody with some rationale, even though he is the commander, of the military, he has the ability to be able to tell him, no, the generals, his whoever his staff over the military is, has the ability to tell him why. Why are we doing this? What sense does it make to do this? This is a peaceful country. They're not bothering anybody. Why? I'm gonna use a reference. When Haiti let all the criminals out of prison, it was rioting in the streets, of Haiti. He's beginning to sound like a dictator that wants to create rioting in the streets. That's crazy. That's crazy. Speaking of rioting, um, 2 days ago, this is the 8th, 2 days ago, January 6th came along. We had a peaceful transfer of power from the Democrats and the Republicans coming together. It's a tradition to validate the election and who won. So, but it was also marks the day that we had a riot 4 years ago on that day when Trump refused to acknowledge that he lost the election. Okay. Very interesting. He lost the election, but yet he refused to admit that he lost the election. So he persuaded rioters to go to the Capitol to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power, and tried to say that he has never lost the election. Even to this day, he refuses to say that he lost the election. So, marking that day during his election, he was saying that those were heroes that went to the Capitol to stop the peaceful transfer of power and the riot that he instigated. And he is trying to martyr those people by saying that the FBI was responsible for the riot. It's the false conspiracy that he spread, and all the people that were sick and hurt. Bear spray, it was just a black eye for the country of the United States that this happened. And now here we are 4 years later, You know, people have voted him back in, so they say, and now he's in position to be able to take position to create more chaos, you know, and you know, he wants to be in charge, and he wants to be the type of person that impresses his base, the megas. So I'm hoping that people wake up and see what they see and understand he's not all that he says that he is, and begin to understand that they need to be able to start putting their faith and trust in something else other than Donald Trump. Like I said, I'm not going to be before you guys long, but I think I saved the best topic for last. At this particular time, 100-year-old President Jimmy Carter sits in the Capitol as people visit and honor him. He was a very honorable president. He did the best that he could when he was in office. He dealt with conflict. He dealt with many of the things that were going on in the world as the 39th president. They honored him on yesterday, and they gave him people an opportunity to say some nice things about him, and they will continue to honor him before they put him to rest, you know, in Atlanta, back in his hometown. You know, now let me say this, you know, when he came out of his office, service did not stop. He did a lot of things, and I know people have talked about it continuously throughout the, you know, ceremonies when in Atlanta or in Georgia and in the Capitol, all of the things that he did when he was in office and all of the things that he did when he was out of office. He had great love for his wife and family who preceded him in death, but he also was a man of principle. He was a Sunday school teacher. He was a man that would pick up a hard hat and a hammer and get out there and begin the process of helping people. So keep his family in your prayers. He is truly a person that we need to look to as a honorable president and a man that had principle, that stood on principle and did the best that he could at the job that he was doing. All right. Well, I am Dr. Ron, and I'm here. We're back. We're doing the Street News Now report, the noon report, and we're going to continue picking up where we left off. And I hope you take time out of your busy schedule to come join us. I want to encourage you all to subscribe, like, and share. While you're here, hit that subscribe, like, and share button. Tell somebody we are back. We're doing the noon report, and we want you guys to come join us so that we can build this thing up. We got to build it up, y'all. If you would like to advertise or like to be a guest on the show, hit me up. You know where you can find me. Hit me up, and then I promise you, somebody will get back in touch with you. If you'd like to do a show on Street News Now, hit me up so that we can get this ball rolling. This 2025. Happy New Year to everybody. And I just want to thank you all for supporting and being a part of this media outlet that we have going. So I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Stay blessed. See you guys next week. And don't forget to join me on the Ask Dr. Ron show. Also, coming up this Saturday, I'll have another show. So I love you guys. You stay blessed, stay encouraged. See you soon. Peace.